Okay guys, this is part 2 of our carburetor video. I want to kind of go over some things here. I've got it disassembled pretty much. I want to go over some of the parts. Of course, the upper section is what you'll find when all the guts are taken out of it. Bottom section, the plug and the jet has been removed. Now I'm going to make a note, whenever you work on these things, your idle jet will actually come out. I've had mixed results doing this. I've broken my share of these things trying to get them out. I've taken these carburetors apart over the years, and I found my share of these things where that was completely missing. It's a little piece of brass. It's extremely delicate, to say the least. It doesn't take a whole lot to mess them up. If you got a choice, if I had a choice, I just leave them alone, or given a choice, I leave them alone. I don't fool with them anymore. I blow air through them. I blow some kind of a soak through it, make sure the passages are clean, and I'll let it go. Come around here. This was the float that I was showing you earlier. It's extremely lightweight. When you go to make your adjustments, you do your adjustments with the float off of the carburetor, not on it. If you can possibly do that, well, let me just say it's best to do it that way. You bend this tab up and down. You can bend the arms up and down. You got a couple different ways you can go about doing it. You have to be mindful of that solder joint right there. I have seen these actually break at that solder joint when you're adjusting them. That's the base. Here's the base. There was the screw that we saw earlier on the base here. That is nothing more than what this screws into. You just can't see it. Right here's your jet. You see the intake holes there. These are clean. I'll go ahead and blow this out anyway just to make sure there's no little trash inside that. This little bar right here actually sits inside this holder. You'll notice the end of that is open. One end is closed. The open end, you can actually kind of, once you get that put back in there, you can kind of pinch it down a little bit. That'll help hold it. That actually goes through your float, and then all this will go through the holder. This will be going up and down inside your carburetor. We'll get into that a little bit more after a while. This was the air adjustment screw. Pretty nasty. Fuel adjustment screw. Throttle butterfly. This is the seat that the needle valve sits in. It's kind of grungy looking. This is the actual needle valve that gets the focus here. That's what actually stops the gas flow. This floats up and down inside of that. That's what stops the gas flow. The plug, the venturi, big chunk of aluminum. This will be your choke butterfly. This is that little BB I was telling you about earlier that you'll lose if you're not careful. It actually goes, let me find it here. Get the right piece. There's a spring I had mentioned. When you pull this rod out, choke rod, you notice that little dimple right there. This little BB goes right there. And it's spring loaded. There's a spring in that, as you can see. If you're not careful, you lose the spring and the ball bearing. This is your main throttle shaft that goes inside the carburetor. That's pretty much it. I'm going to clean all this stuff up, get everything soaking, and we'll get it all put back together, and that'll be our part 3. All right, thanks again.